Hello and welcome to Tuesdays with Nina. Today actually has a very fun letter. My name is Carol and I'm a 21-year-old student in Texas. My boyfriend and I both recently discovered that we are similarly sexually deviant and have been experimenting with new ways from anal play to light BDSM to please each other. We're both interested in role-playing, anything from the classic nurse and teacher fantasies to more particular ones of our own. But I've had two problems I'd like advice on how to handle. First of all, I have a difficult time imagining him as someone other than himself, which makes it difficult for me to sell myself to the fantasy. This also contributes to my second problem, which is that I have trouble taking myself seriously when I play certain characters, particularly the more cutesy ones my guy likes. For example, he wants me to be a nurse, but I can only really take myself seriously playing a dominant doctor. How do you manage to really get into character and believe the fantasy when you role play? Thanks so much. So, Carol, thanks for writing. It took me a long time to get comfortable with role-playing because I would just get fits of the giggles. I would just absolutely break down. When I first started learning how to say, sir, yes, sir, please, sir, it's just like, are you kidding me? This is crazy. But my partner's sincere adherence to his sexual truth, which is as a BDSM player, as a power exchange player, made it easier for me. My love for him certainly helped, and his patience. So the two of you are learning together, which can be a lot of fun, of course, but it makes it a little more tricky because instead of having one experienced partner teaching the less experienced partner how to play the game, you're both making up the rules as you go along. Pardon me. So the first thing to do to keep yourself seriously is to stick with the fantasies or roles that you are comfortable with. And as you develop more comfort, and more importantly, as you develop sexually and are able to tap into different aspects of your sexual nature, roles that now make you feel so stupid will ease up over time. Again, in the beginning, when I had to seriously say, please, sir, yes, sir, really, it was insane. And then once I had the positive reinforcement of a successful role play and the positive reinforcement of my partner's interest and arousal and passion, it got easier. So with practice comes comfort. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So hold off on the cutesy ones for now. And I find a little bit of costuming helps a lot. It can be a hat, it can be a coat, it can be a prop. It doesn't take a whole lot. But the key is you have to agree to suspend disbelief. You know you're both two college students in Texas, but tonight you are going to be whatever you want to be, and just agree that you will keep other things out of the bedroom, and more importantly, if you break character, that you will just stop, giggle, breathe, and get back into it, and that will help. If you find yourself laughing at something he does, that may kill the scene, but if you can't stop yourself from laughing, you can't stop yourself from laughing. And there are certain role plays that my husband and I have done in the past that I don't bother anymore. More importantly than for us, any particular scenario, nurse, doctor, teacher, student, it's all about power exchange. So if I'm going to play from the submissive position, my partner and I discuss the parameters. You can hit me, but you can't leave marks, whatever the parameters have to be. And then the dance begins. And so my husband is dominant. And what kind of dominant he is depends on what his submissive partner is in the mood for that night. So as long as he's pitching and she's catching, then there is no scenario that we follow. We just dance. He leads and I follow. And so he can go from moment to moment, from feeling clearly very much a military officer to being a pirate to being a knave. I mean, it's an energy thing. So it's less about the trappings of the cap and the schoolgirl outfit or the nurse outfit or the cop outfit, and more about the energy and the mental, emotional space that you are inhabiting at that time. While it's true my husband and I do play while wearing little bits of costuming, the most important thing that we bring to it is an agreement that He will pitch and I will catch. He will lead and I will follow. Now, when I'm with a partner who's a switch, then we decide who's pitching and who's catching that day. And when you get more experience with it, you can go back and forth. If you're both switches, you can go back and forth within the lovemaking session between pitching and catching. And that can be very, very exciting. Just the other day, so it's less about a scenario and a script. You've been bad. You didn't do your homework. Let me take your temperature. You were speeding. That can be sort of silly. But the idea that we are temporarily giving someone else power over us is really sexy. So the secret, as my husband likes to say, the secret to being a good dominant is to give the right orders. And the secret to giving the right orders is finding out what our submissive partner wants to do, their secret desires, and then ordering them to do that thing. That's where the real juice is. It's not so much about the costumes and the script. It's about the energy and the emotion that we bring to it. So if I were to play with someone who wants to be submissive that day or experience being told what to do, I would find out what do they want to do. You know, they have shyness issues. So if they have shyness issues, I may make them masturbate for me, or may make them expose their body to me, or I may make them tell me what's going on in their mind. If they want to, so find out what the partner who is being submissive wants to do, then order them to do it. And then it's less about words and more about inhabiting the emotion of the moment and being okay with being in charge. Because women, especially if you're the one being in charge, it's really difficult to allow yourself to be the one calling the shots and having your desires satisfied and having someone serve you or please you or do something that amuses you. So it doesn't have to be cutesy. It can be now. That being said, there's a kind of emotional exposure that's very romantic and very sexy and very hot when you are putting yourself in a position to feel silly, to feel a little stupid, to feel a little, this is so weird. But if your partner is good, it sounds like you are, he will take care of you in that space, will not make fun of you in that space, and he will let you be uncomfortable and still be loving to you. And you can work to see how that fits and how it feels to be that vulnerable to him, how it feels to be that exposed in your desire or in your discomfort or exposed in your uncertainty or your shyness. There's a lot of intimacy to be had there, even when you are feeling less than powerful. The power comes when we expose our true feelings and let our partners see that and trust that they're not going to trash us for that or take advantage or make fun. And that is more than the nursey and the doctor and the cop. That is what the real meat of power exchange is about, is exposing our true feelings and nature to one another and letting ourselves be that exposed. So how do we manage to get really into character and believe the fantasy when you role play? I'm not in a character. I'm in a mindset of being submissive, the mindset of being in control. And then the character part just comes naturally at the give and take. And more importantly, it gets better with practice. And the more you do it, the less silly you feel. The more you do it, the more you'll know how you and he like to do it. There's plenty of books on role playing. There's plenty of books on setting up scenarios. There's plenty of books on how to be kinkier. But when it comes down to it, between you and your partner, it's what pleases the two of you and how does it work for the two of you and what makes the two of you hot for each other. That's the important thing. Follow your heart, follow your crotch, and let yourself be uncomfortable and let him take care of you. That will do it for this week. This has been Tuesdays with Nina. Please send your questions to tuesdayswithnina@gmail.com and Miss Laurel will send them.